Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about the DynoJet Power Vision for Harley. The Power Vision is a fuel controller that's going to make your bike run smoother with a minimum of muss and fuss on your part. This thing is designed for either J1850 or CAN bus Harleys, which means basically if you have a fuel-injected Harley, with the exception of kind of those freak Magneti Morelli-injected models that were used in the very early part of fuel injection, you should have something that's going to fit from DynoJet. If you're not certain which style connector you have on your bike, be it a CAN bus system or a J1850, if you're not sure if you have 4-pin or 6-pin, use our bike finder. We have done all the hard work for you to find out what it is that you need on your bike. Even if you are sure, use the bike finder again. Another set of eyes backing you up can't hurt. Installation's not real difficult. You're probably looking at a 1 out of 3 beards as far as the actual installation. It really is just a 1-plug install. You might bump up to 2 beards as far as the tuning process. It's not difficult, it's just one of those things that can take a little bit of time. So as you can see, we have this thing in front of me. There's not really much here. And that's kind of the benefit of it. As we said, it's just one simple cable to install. You're going to plug this into your data port and you're pretty much ready to rock and roll right out of the box. Now the first thing that I think is super cool about the Power Vision is that this is a standalone unit. You can use a computer to help you tune. There is software included in the box to get you rolling, but you don't need to use any of it. I really like that because it means that I don't have to drag my desktop down to my garage. For those of you who don't have a laptop, that can be kind of a pain. So that's sort of a first selling point on this thing, is that you don't need to have a computer right there in your shop. The other thing that this thing is really cool about is that it doesn't need to stay on your bike. It can, but it doesn't have to. If you do elect to keep this thing on your bike, one of the nifty parts is the amps mounting system on the back. This is a fairly universal mounting system for small electronics. There's a lot of mounts, tech mounts, RAM, there's a lot of stuff on the market that can get this thing onto your bike if you do want to keep it there. However, for those of you guys riding a bike that's sort of hard to hide stuff on, I'm thinking of you guys on a breakout or those of you on a rocker, it can be difficult to find somewhere to put this item. Any fuel controller is just difficult to find. So the Power Vision kind of stands out because you can flash your computer, you can do a little bit of tuning with it, and you can remove it from the bike permanently. It does not need to live with the bike. If you're watching this video, you may not even know why you need a fuel controller. Let's break that down real fast and then we'll sort of get into the guts of this thing. If you've modified your motorcycle in any way, or even if it's stock, it's probably not running optimally. The reason being is that the EPA wants bikes to be as lean as possible. They don't want your bike emitting a whole bunch of harmful contaminants into the environment. What this means though is you have a bike that's tuned to be clean, not necessarily powerful. So a lot of folks, after they modify their bike, have a bike that went from lean to really, really lean, especially those of you guys who've thrown an intake on there or maybe an exhaust. You definitely need a fuel controller. You could go with a canned map unit. There's plenty of them out there. The Power Vision's kind of a step up from that. Rather than give you a canned map that DynoJet knows works well for a wide variety of bikes, what they do is they give a map that is specifically tailored to your bike and your equipment. So after you plug your Power Vision in, you will scroll through some menus and you will make sure that you're getting a map that is designed for your bike. You're going to pick out your bike, your engine, some of the modifications you've made to your bike, and that's sort of your baseline. Where the Power Vision differs from other CAN map programs is that from here, there's actually a light auto tuning function on here. So really, you then get on your bike and go ride. This is the point in a traditional fuel injection tuning process where you would be putting your bike on a dynamometer. You'd be having an experienced tuner at this point look at your fuel tables and dial in where you need to add fuel in or take fuel away. You don't have to do that with the Power Vision. The Power Vision actually lets the ECM do what it does best. Look at the fueling and adjust things where they need to be adjusted. Power Vision basically unlocks your ECM and allows it to do its job without so much concern for environmental joy, but it actually will give you a little bit more of a lean towards horsepower and performance. It's going to make your bike run smoother. So we've really covered the meat and potatoes of this thing. It's effectively a very powerful tool made to act very simply. It does a very complex job really, really easily. There are a couple of other cool little features and benefits, little nifty Easter eggs they've given you on this thing. Firstly, you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes on a wide variety of bikes. When you put a Power Vision onto your bike, it marries up. It's only good for that bike as far as affecting the fuel management end of things. However, if you have one of these, you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes on your bike or buddies' bikes. There's no end to how many bikes you can use this on to check out code. So if you have a buddy with a flashing check engine light, you should be able to help out a little bit with the Power Vision. He should be able to figure out what it is that's going on. All you're going to need to do really is plug up. One of the other cool features about this thing is this awesome GUI, this graphical user interface. This thing winds up giving you a really good looking, slick gauge package, and it really gives you access to information that your ECU already keeps track of, but maybe doesn't display to you. Those of you guys on FX Softails or Dynas, you have a pretty limited gauge package. However, your computer is still keeping track of a lot of important things. Cylinder head temp, you can even get miles per gallon. There's a lot of things you can choose to put on the GUI and have it display to you that is going to let you just get a little more information about your bike, keep track of how things are running in there, especially those of you guys who are thinking about a little more aggressive tuning. You're going to want to keep an eye on things and make sure things are going smoothly, and the gauges give you the information to do that. We chatted before about installation. Installation is super easy. Ultimately, to get rock and roll with this thing, you need to pop your seat off and you're going to plug in the data link connector. That's about it. You're ready to go from there. The installation is really a simple plug-in install. However, for some of you, installation is going to kind of fork. You're going to be able to either leave it on the bike or take it off the bike. We mentioned earlier, taking it off the bike is going to be an option that some of you guys on stripped-down bikes are going to be thinking of. Those of you guys who ride rockers or breakouts, there's just no room on those things to put a fuel processor a lot of the time. So for somebody like you, you might want to think about plugging this up, running it through several tune cycles, and then really taking it off and leave it off the bike for most of its life. You can always bring it back or check it out if you need to. However, you don't have to do that. These things are also weather resistant. DynoJet recommends taking them off if you're going to be hosing down your bike to wash it, but if you get caught in a little bit of rain, this is not going to be too affected. It's one of the things I really like about this. I think this is a great product. A lot of you guys are going to get a lot of use out of this, from the super, super basic, just getting into it user, all the way up to the guy who's maybe got some major motor work done and really needs to extract the most horsepower he can out of his new package. My opinion is not the only one that matters, though. Yours is. Click below, see what some other riders who are already rocking this have to say about it, and you can also leave an opinion if you have one of these yourself. If you've got questions beyond that, give us a holler. See us at RevZilla.com. Or you can always get us by phone, 877-792-9455. We can talk about if this is right for you and your bike setup. I'm Lemmy. I'm out of here.